Koreans are really ambitious. Almost within 70 years, it used to be a poor country.
Yeah.
And then they were like, okay, let's work together and let's build a developed country. And look where Korea is today. Now, of course, that has a lot of drawbacks as well, like working too much and then pushing yourself too much. So if you manage to find the balance, I think that's the best.
I'm still amazed by them. I'm still like looking at Koreans and thinking, what an amazing people and so hardworking.
Today's guest is Aiste, a really dear friend of mine, and you're an amazingly ambitious and active woman. I just wanted to ask you if you remember how the two of us met.
Yeah, of course, definitely. We met on the bus actually at 2 a.m.
I even remember the
2 a.m. on the bus. Yeah, I was going from Hongdae.
Yeah, me too.
I think I was hanging out with my friends, having some drinks, and then jump on the bus, and then you ask me which direction is it, and then I took out my phone and trying to like look on the map, and then we just exchanged contact, and then I contacted you. It was really nice to meet you, and then we said, oh, let's meet up, and then that's how.
Wow, you have a really good memory. I forgot that asking you about the map and the direction.
Oh, right.
So it was actually the only time. So I've been living in Korea for 4 years. It was the only time I went out in the night because there were some friends of mine here. And so they wanted to stay, they wanted to party longer. And I was like, okay, now around 2 a.m. I'm going to go home. So I took the bus and I saw you there, sitting there in the bus. And I was like, another foreigner. And I just wanted to talk to you. And maybe I think I used the direction as a question. But I'm happy I did that.
Me too. And I think that time me and my friend were debating because my friend took different directions. Like, do you want to take taxi or bus? And I was like, I'll just take the bus. So I'm really glad I didn't take the taxi and I took the bus that time.
And I'm happy that you didn't walk because no walkers.
But I think Hongdae and Haewa is too far. I couldn't walk that much.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining. I'm really, really excited. Today you're going to share your story, how you fell in love with Korea.
Yep.
But before we jump into that, maybe the audience is interested about you and who you are. So you're from Lithuania, right?
Yes.
But you lived the majority of your life in England.
Yes, so since middle school I lived in England. So it's been around 11 years now. Yeah, so it's been quite a while.
Yeah. But I really love your British accent.
It's not that British. Don't say that to British people.
Yeah, I think you're really talented in languages. Like you speak 3 languages, Lithuanian, English, and Korean. So yeah, that's pretty cool.
Oh, thank you, Annie. You too. You speak so many languages too.
Yeah, I really love languages.
Yeah,
but I don't speak any of them perfectly. It's okay. I wish I had your British accent though.
I know. Your accent is also really cool.
Yeah, I think it's a mixture of like Austrian and English, maybe Hungarian. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you, how did you like come to know about Korea now? Like, where did this whole story start?
So I think it started back in the freshman year in my uni. I think it was 2017, September to be exactly. And I just came to university. It's first time about parents. So my parents said goodbye to me. And there was this freshman party near my dorm. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to go for it. And maybe I can meet some cool people there. I was really nervous to go there because I was all by myself.
How can we imagine these English freshman parties? Is it like with a lot of music?
Yeah, music,
dancing?
Maybe dancing, more like not food, more like drinks. So it was a small party. So there is a student village in UK. We had these student villages just for one university where all university students live. But there are many villages. So in my student village, there was like kind of a pub. And in that pub, there was like, they made a party. It wasn't like food party. It was like more dancing, standing party with drinks. And people just go there and dance and basically talk to new people because everyone is new.
Oh,
it's just the first day of university.
So you went there and you didn't know anybody?
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, I went with the housemate. I just met like half an hour ago.
Oh, okay, I see.
But we just went our separate ways to, and then, I was dancing. I was trying to dance. And then, I don't know, I can't remember if I first spoke or this girl first spoke to me. And, we just spoke a little bit and we just danced together. Like suddenly we just met. And then I think we got like Instagram or some form of contact. And then we were like, we will meet because we live in the same student village. And there is like a canteen place, like cafeteria for all students to eat. And we met again, and then she invited me to join her friends.
And she was a Korean girl, right?
Yeah, she was a Korean, and
was
I never.
She, like, short or tall?
I think she's shorter than me.
Yeah, like
and
you're pretty tall. Yeah.
I never met Korean. I never maybe I've seen Korean, but I never actually spoke interactive Korean. So I was like, "Oh, you're from Korea?" Like I was so surprised because in my hometown, Bournemouth, where I live with my parents, like. I never interacted with the Korean national.
I see.
So it was the first interaction. And then, when I went to that cafeteria, she invited me to join her friends. And it was like 10 Koreans at once. So I was like, wow, this is great,
Did they speak Korean with each other?
They spoke English because there was like one Hong Kong and then I think there was a Malaysian girl as well I met. But it was pretty amazing. Like, from one Korean, the next day was like 10 Korean.
Wow.
And then I met more friends and I got placed to another Korean girl. And then she introduced K-pop, K-drama to me.
You didn't know about K-pop and K-drama before?
Like I knew that. I knew Big Bang and all those very famous, like Girls' Generation. But I wasn't like super fan or very interested,
Yeah.
But I think my friend introduced me to BTS and Korean dramas. So it was really nice. I really enjoy watching them and we were watching them together. And I just started interest more and more in Korea and more I hang out with the Korean people, more I thought, they're really cool.
Nice. And in which way were they different from your other friends? Because you're a very outgoing person and you really like to make friends.
Yeah, I guess the most difference of European people and Korean, what I have noticed when you hang out, Korean really likes traveling. Every weekend. I was so surprised. Every weekend I asked, what did you do? Oh, I traveled to this city.
Now maybe you were living in different countries. My friends don't really travel. They are just working or studying.
Oh, right. I think because they were exchange students, so they have 6 months in UK.
Yeah.
So I was so amazed. They were traveling every weekend. I was like, wow, you guys are amazing because in Europe, you just go for a drink or, I don't know, to park or something on the weekend. You don't travel to another city or country. So I think that like traveling and the outgoingness were like, wow, I was like so inspired by their energy. And they still want to go party and then next day go on a travel trip. I was like, wow, I think
Koreans
crazy.
have amazing energy. Like really, they study the whole night and the next day they just study again or do something else. So I think that's something we can learn from them.
Yeah, so I think that's the first interaction. And then I thought these people are really cool.
I think for you as well, like because you were born in Lithuania, but then you moved to England at a pretty young age, and then you also lived in Korea for a year, and then you lived in Belgium for a year. So I think you really like to expand your horizons and get to know new people, new cultures. I guess that's the reason why you also learn Korean so fast.
Yeah, I think so. And then another point for me was I was never interested going on exchange student. My degree is originally 3 years. In UK, we have 3 years degree. I know in Korea is 4 years. But then we had this exchange student talk. I was not going to go, but my Malaysian friend actually was like, oh yeah, let's go together. I was like, no, I just want to graduate and work. And then, I was just listening and you can go to all European countries like Erasmus. And then South Korea came out and I said to my friend, I'm going to sign up. I'm going to go.
In a hint of
I just saw South Korea and I was like, I will apply. That's it. I will study for years.
Wow.
So then I saw South Korea. I was like, I already was, I was already have some interest in Korea at that time. And then I was like, for you, it would be cool if I can get it. You need to apply, you had to write your personal statement. Yeah.
So it was like a 1 year's exchange program at Samgyongwon University.
Yeah, University. Yeah, so since then I was writing that personal statement and stuff. I was super inspired. And another interaction was in my hometown where I never saw Koreans before. And then I saw it was a Korean church near my house, like 10 minutes from my house. And I was like to my friend, British friend, she's also quite international. She was born in Japan. And I was like, let's go to Korean church. I'm really interested in Korea.
But you haven't been to church before?
Yeah, I have. I've been to university.
I see.
Yeah, I've been to British church before. But yeah.
And then you go to this like Korean church. Was the service in Korean?
Everything was in Korean. So I couldn't understand anything. But I was surprised how welcoming everyone was.
So you went there, the service was for 1.5 hours and you sit there the whole time and you didn't understand anything?
Like at that time I knew some basic Korean already.
Wow.
But it wasn't very fluent. So I couldn't understand. I can just understand traduction and that's it. But I think the singing part, like I really enjoyed how passionate Koreans are. And after the service, in British church, you just go home after the service. There was like some gathering and they provided nice food for us. So yeah, I stayed and talked to some people, which was good. And met some really good people in there.
Yeah, I think I can relate to that because when I came to Korea, I also met a lot of friends through church and they helped me a lot with visa issues. And it's just good to have somebody because when you don't speak the language, it's pretty difficult. So I think Korean churches, like especially local Korean churches, are a great way if you're like interested in the Korean culture. And,
definitely.
Yeah. Wow. That's really cool. So you kept then going back to that church.
I kept going back and I met some really amazing people, which I actually met this time when I came to Korea.
Okay. So you're still in contact with them.
Yeah, we're still friends with those people who I met 5 years ago.
Nice.
So yeah, I think it's pretty amazing experience going there. And once I continue going there, I can only go in my summer break because I was a uni student. My Korean improved and I was understanding more and more of the Korean service.
Oh, I see. Wow.
So
you met these nice people back in England and then you decided to come to an exchange semester to Korea. And then you applied for it. And like in this whole process of coming to Korea, what was the most difficult? What was the most challenging?
I guess like preparation before it, you have to leave everything, what to pack, because I never lived like in another country alone before because I was like 20 years old at that time. So I was quite nervous, like visa, bank account, like all these different things. And then actually flying by myself for like 12 hours all the way to South Korea.
Did you have any help in creating a bank account or applying for a visa?
Yeah. My Korean friends helped me a lot.
Yeah.
The ones I actually met in the church back at England. So I think that was a big help for me. But yeah, language also, because you think you know Korean, then you're back in England, you can switch back to English easily because people know English in England, of course. But in Korea, sometimes people don't know English and then you feel lost. And then you feel like, oh, what did they say? You feel so lost. And I think the first few months are hard to get used to it.
Was the language the hardest part after you came here, or were there other things that you were struggling with?
I think language part was a hard one. Also, I think it's hard to make friends in university, in your classroom. I thought, Koreans they're very nice people. And, I made so many friends in England. But when I came to Samgyongwon University and I was in a class full of Koreans, it was quite difficult to mix in. Especially with Koreans who never went abroad.
Okay. So how did you feel? Like do you remember any specific events where you felt, I don't belong here, or like I'm different.
Yeah. Say in my classroom, I was just like, say greeting 안녕하세요 to someone. Just try to, get to know my classmate. They just say 안녕하세요, and then they just turn to their friend and just speak Korean.
I see.
I guess they're afraid of speaking English.
Was the class in English, or was the class
English.
in English? Oh,
yeah, all in English. But I think Koreans are good at listening, but when they speak, they're quite nervous.
Yeah, I think Koreans have these really high standards that they only speak if they can speak perfectly. And we in Europe, we're pretty much used to like, we don't have to speak perfectly because we just want to be understood. And anyways, there are like so many international people in Europe, but Korea is still kind of like isolated. So I kind of understand that.
Yeah.
And were you the only foreigner in your class?
No, I wasn't the only. Well, some classes I was, some no. But I think foreigners like to stick together. But I was more like, I want to meet Korean. I'm in Korea.
Yeah, I remember when we met, like you wore this Korean makeup and Korean style clothes and Korean style hairstyle, and then you were speaking in Korean. I was like, if I wouldn't see you, I thought that you were Korean.
Thank you. But yeah, I think like for me, I was like more interested. I think foreigners found it hard, so they stick together. But I was like, well, I can meet foreigner friends back in UK. I really want to experience like Korean culture. So I tried really hard, and I did succeed making some friends in the classroom.
What did you try? Like, how did you try
just
to come
speaking,
closer to them?
just like asking something, or try to speak Korean.
Wow, nice.
Try to really, and then I joined some societies like CCC, like Christian Society. People were really nice, and I joined swimming society and made some good friends in here.
You were a swimmer in the past, right? Like a pro runner and swimmer.
Before. But in Korea I also did swimming and went to competition, which was nice.
Oh, really? I didn't know about that. Really cool.
With the team. And I think in Korea, once you're in the classroom, people don't talk a lot. But once you're in a club, like sports club, people actually open up and are interested in talking to you.
Yeah. Oh, that's a great tip for those who want to make Korean friends.
Definitely. I think joining the club or some community is a big thing. Because I think Koreans want to talk to people who have the same interests. And they feel more comfortable asking questions or, bringing up the topic.
I think that's the same everywhere, like no matter where you go and if you're a foreigner there. So I moved from Romania to Austria, and then anywhere you go, people already have their friends groups. So it's not so easy to like integrate and then be part of that group because they have their own history. So I think we really need to make some effort to like build up relationships from scratch. That's really cool, very inspiring.
Yeah, as an intern, like if you just move to another country, like you don't have your friends group. So you need to make the effort and, try to interact with people. Yeah. So
what else did you try to fit into this Korean society?
Well, basically like just talk and try to join different clubs and really get out of my comfort zone and try and talk to people. I think that was the most.
What was your fashion, like Korean style fashion or makeup? Was it something like intentional, or was it just something that you were like, I really like it and I just want to wear it?
I really like it, and I'm quite interested in fashion, Korean fashion especially. I did research a little bit or look at the, YouTube or something, like how to pair the clothes, how to do makeup. I also made that effort, like, especially at the beginning. I came here and I was also very different. And so I really wanted to fit in, and I have like pretty curly hair. And so I straightened my hair, and I tried to like look like more like a Korean, because in the beginning I had my European clothes and it always felt like, it just wasn't fitting. Or I had, for example, a t-shirt that had a really like low cut, and like everybody else in Korea, they had like t-shirts like up until your neck. So I just threw away everything and I bought new clothes. But at some point, I realized that I don't need so hard to fit in. I don't need to try so hard to fit in, because I'm a foreigner. I will always be a foreigner, and that's okay. Yeah.
And since then, I think it was a year ago, because I had my love and hate relationships. I've been living in Korea for 4 years now.
Oh.
And many times I really wanted to run away. I was like, bye Korea, I'm going. But I think now Korea and me are in a good place. And I think one of the points was that I just accepted that I'm different, and that's good that I'm different. And people just accept me as I am.
Yeah, that's great. Like, I think in Korea you always will be a foreigner. Like, you can't change your face. You can be best in Korean, you can be fluent, but people still see you as a foreigner, and that's okay.
That's
I
true.
think that's okay.
Yeah, many friends of mine, especially like women, foreigner women, they have this experience that there's this like older ajoshi, like older Korean guy, and then you're in the subway, and then they look at you, and then they look at you, and then they look at you. But it's not that they don't mean it like in a negative way. They're just curious. Did you have those experiences?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. But I think they're just curious because they don't see Western too many times. I don't think they mean it in a negative way.
Yeah, I agree. I kind of I kind of feel with them because there was COVID. So during COVID, there were not so many foreigners in Korea, and also in my area where I live, there were no foreigners. I was the only one. So during these like 2-3 years of COVID, I got used to Korean faces so much that after COVID, once I went to Hongdae where there are a lot of tourists, and I was like, what are these foreigners doing here? why did they come to Korea? Why they are so different? So I was like, oh wait, you're not a Korean. I kind of understand how they feel.
Yeah, definitely. I think there are a lot of foreigners nowadays, even in neighborhood where I'm staying right now. Yeah,
even in my neighborhood, actually.
Yeah, so many foreigners these days. I think more people are interested in Korea.
True.
And the interest will grow.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Like when we were preparing for the interview, then you said, like, what would you advise your 10-year-old self? And you said it's just to be self-confident and accept that you're different. And I think in your life journey, when you moved from Lithuania to England, then again, you were different there. And then you moved to Korea. So I think that's a very inspiring message. I don't know what your experiences were, or like why did you advise yourself exactly that?
I think like not being afraid to make a change is the best thing, because I think many people live on autopilot sometimes. When you get into a workplace, you just work or just continue your life. And I think it's good to realize I want to do something different, or there is something else that makes me happy. I think just staying comfortable is not the best way, especially for me, because if you just stay comfortable and live the same life, after 10 years, you will look back and say, I wish I did this. I wish I did this.
Yeah.
So I think it's, you shouldn't be afraid to make a change, even if it sounds scary or, you don't want to do that. Maybe you're going to move away from your family or your friends. It's a scary thing to do. But I think it's worth it at the end. You look back and you say, I'm glad I did it. I don't regret. And even if you regret it, you can always learn from it.
Yeah, I see why you and Korean culture fit so well together, because Koreans are really ambitious, and you're also an ambitious person.
Oh, thank you.
So I think Koreans also the ones that, I was so amazed how almost within 70 years it used to be a poor country, and then they were like, okay, let's work together and let's build up a rich country, developed country, and look where Korea is today. So I think that part kind of fits you and fits me in a sense. Of course, that has a lot of drawbacks as well, like working too much and then pushing yourself too much. So if you manage to find the balance, I think that's the best.
Yeah, I think so as well. But I think Koreans are amazing people, and the way they work, the way they do things, I think I'm still amazed by them. I'm still looking at Koreans and thinking, what an amazing people, and so hardworking.
So now you're planning to come back again. So you were here in 2020, and then you moved back to England.
Yeah.
And now you're planning to come back to Korea again.
Yeah. and I keep visiting Korea. So I went last year, I came this year.
We're very happy that you're here right now. So
thank you. It's good timing. But I really want to move here. I think traveling is good, but I think it's not enough for me. So I want to really move here one day.
What is the biggest reason, except your boyfriend, why you want to move to Korea? Why Korea?
I just love Korean culture, and food is amazing, of course. Even in London, I eat Korean food almost every day.
Oh, really? Wow.
If you go to London, there is Korean towns in there, Korean supermarkets, Korean everything.
Wow.
I think like in London, there are so many Koreans these days. We have many like Korean shops, even skincare shops. Yeah.
Perfect.
So I think London is okay for me.
If you have it in London, you don't have to come here, right?
But I think it's different still.
Yeah.
It's still different. Like, I think Korea is, London is still England. There are Korean parts, but obviously it's British culture.
Yeah.
So I think Korea would be fit for me because of the culture, food. And then I just love using Korean language.
Yeah, I can see that.
I think it's like more emotional than English. I just love how it sounds. Even before I couldn't understand Korean, but I was listening and I was enjoying. When you watch drama with subtitles, I was like, I wish I could understand what they actually say about subtitles. So everything really.
Nice.
And if I have a chance, I would love to study and work in here.
Can you even imagine working at a Korean company? Yeah, probably you know that it's pretty different to work in England as in Korea. So now you're here in Korea for a few weeks. So you could take like 2.5 weeks holiday. In Korea, my friends are really struggling even like taking 1 week holiday. So like there are less holidays, working hours are pretty long. You have to do a lot of yagun, which means like working late hours. Are you okay with that?
I think I'm okay in certain extent. I think I'm more towards international companies, which I heard there are quite a few in Korea. So I think working hours are long. I mean, it's hard, but I would search for international, maybe more company, because I do enjoy my work-life balance. I do like to do things outside of work. So it's quite important part of my life. So I don't want to work to consume the whole life, which is important to me. So I think I would search for a solution. Maybe international company or something like that. Or do my own business.
Oh, nice.
Something like that. Because I think if you like trapped in the company and work really, really long hours, I think it just consumes your life, which I don't want it to work to become my life.
Yeah. I think we are very similar in that aspect too. When I came to Korea, I didn't want to get employed at a Korean company. I'm also more like starting my own business, and but I understood. So at the beginning, I judged a lot this Korean work culture. There's even a term. It's like called K 직원. It's like K employee. They do everything for work. For example, I have a really good friend of mine. She's working at a law firm, and she has 8 days a year as holiday. And if she gets sick, she needs to use from those 8 days. But she still loves it. And why she loves it is because her life vision and mission and the companies match. And because of that, I understand that she puts in long work hours and she really likes it. But if the two don't match, then you feel like you have to work long hours, but you actually don't want to. I think that's the problem.
Yeah, I agree with you, and definitely. 8 days sounds really scary.
Don't worry, your international company will be better.
We have 25 days in UK. We have 25 days a year.
I know.
So 8 days sounds really scary.
Yeah. No, it's a law firm, so it's not the general.
Usually get 2 weeks, I think, in Korea, as I heard.
Yeah, I think it depends on the company and the company policy. But about this nunchi. So one of my friends, we were like, okay, let's go for a long weekend to nearby island, Mariana Islands. And she's like, but it's right before Chuseok, and Chuseok will be a long holiday. So maybe I cannot take a day off now because my boss would not like it. So there's just like all in your head trying to calculate what are the unwritten rules, basically. Yeah, well, the work culture is slowly changing as well. The younger Koreans, they have a different mindset.
Yeah.
So I think you don't have to worry about that. Anyways, you're a type of a person who makes her own way, so I also not worry about you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for this talk.